so that we can start. Yeah. So today in the class, today's class we will be discussing about block 2, which consists of unit 4, 5, and 6. Okay, block 2 basically talks about biological behavior. Okay, biological basis of our behavior. So in this topic, we will be talking about okay nervous system, endocrine or the hormonal system, and the last one we'll talking about chromosomes. Okay, or the hereditary mechanism. Okay, so before we start, so first as a neural basis of behavior, so one should be able to know what particularly our nervous system is made up of. Okay, so nervous system, as you already know, so nervous system consists of number of neurons. Okay, some billions of neurons. So we need to know about what is the basic structure of a nerve cell so that we can understand the entire functioning of our nervous system. Okay, so each and every nerve cell is having a cell body. Okay, should be having a cell body. Then okay, they call it as axon. Then they're talking about yeah. So is it visible to everyone? If yes, you can type me. Yeah. Are you able to see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because they have muted everyone, so I'm not able to get it. Okay. Yeah. So some of them have raised their hands. So our nerve system is made up of billions of nerve cells or neurons. So this is a structure of one particular nerve cell. So every nerve will have a cell body, okay, axon, and terminal branches. Okay. So cell body, you know, each and every cell have a nucleus. So if it is a living cell, so it will have a nucleus. So cell, cell body, cell body will have a nucleus. So as nucleus has to get or it require nutrients, so it is filled with a fluid called cytoplasm. So cytoplasm is the liquid filled in the cell body which provides all the nutrients required for the nucleus. As you already know, the function of nucleus is to control the entire functioning of the cell. Okay, and also it plays a major role in carrying heredity. Okay, it have nucleus. In that nucleus we have the genetic material, that is the chromosomes. Okay, so and the entire functioning of the nerve is controlled by nerve cell, that is nucleus plays a major role. Then you can see, so from the cell body there would be a axon. Okay. So axon is a branch that is coming from the cell body. So axon will have a insulin or a protection. Okay, it is having a myelin sheath, a protein coat, like we have our insulators or our wires to prevent electric shock. We have insulation on that. So in the same way, so these particular okay myelin sheets are covered on axons so that they prevent loss of information, because in the nervous system the nerve impulses are carried out okay in the electrochemical form. So electric impulses as well as chemical in nature, so they are called as electrochemical okay, compounds. So to prevent that lossage, and also to make sure that there is no miscommunication as well as mixing up of okay, different electro signals or impulses. Okay, like if there are two neurons or neuronal axons are getting mixed up, so there can be a mixing up of signals. So to prevent that also, and to make sure that the nerve impulses are carried in full extent. Okay, so this protein code okay, acts as a insulator. So at the end of the axon, so there will be a terminal okay branches, or there will be branching which are called as terminal branches. Okay, so the function of terminal branches is to make sure that it connects with the dendrites of the other side. Okay, so I will show you the next picture in that you can understand. Okay, now is that visible to everyone? This particular
Yes, sir.
picture.
Visible.
Yes, sir.
If yes, you can
Yes, sir.
send me through chat box so that I can know. Yeah. So this is how the electric impulses or a nerve functions. So if you see, there will be a cell body which is called as soma. Okay, so soma will be having cytoplasm, a liquid to supply the required nutrients
Sir,
Sir,
picture.
here
will
previous picture is shown, sir.
carried out in the nerve cells. The fluid which supplies nutrients to the entire nerve cell is cytoplasm. Then it will have a nucleus. Okay, nucleus carries the genetic material and also it functions the entire nuclear or nerve cell. Now you can see in the picture, okay,
Sir, picture
axon.
not
So
turn out,
axon
sir.
is used for the nerve conduction or nerve impulses. There you can see the direction from where the electrochemical signals are going. Okay, so the electric signals is from one nerve or carried to the other one through this axon, as you can
Picture not
see
turn
in
out,
that.
sir.
So to
Picture not
prevent
turn out.
loss and also mixing up of signals, so there is a myelin sheath. Okay, then we talked about the branch structure at the end of the axon, which are called as terminal buds or dendrites. Okay, the main function of that is to okay come in contact with the dendroids. We talked about the dendroids, okay, which are attached to the cell body, will form a attachment with this terminal buttons. So that this is how, if this is one neuron and this is another neuron, so this is how they get connected. Okay, so dendrites of one nerve cell are getting in connection with the terminal branches of the other cell. Okay, so this is how they form, and this is how the nerve impulses are carried from the cell body axon, from terminal buds to the dendrites of the other cell. So this is how the information carried in electrochemical impulses from one nerve to the other nerve. So there are a number of nerve or billions of nerve cells. Okay, so all are having this structure. So when we're talking about the place where the dendroids and the terminal buds are connecting, so this particular okay, this junction is called as synaptic cleft. The site is called as synapse. They call the site is called as synapse. Okay, so these okay Dendroids and terminal buds are not connected always, but only when there is a nerve impulse. So when there is a stimulus, so which will initiate, okay, nerve or electric impulses, okay, in the body, so that are carried from the affected part through nerves and within the nerve, so they connect to the other one. So they are not always connected, but only when there is a firing of stimulus, then they connect. Okay, so these particular nerve cells, they work on a principle called, okay, all or none, which means that for nerve impulses or the electric impulses to be get carried from one nerve to the other nerve, so there should be certain strength for the nerve cells. So only when the signals are of certain required strength, then only these nerve impulses can be carried from one nerve to the other nerve. So when the strength of the nerve impulses which are generated is below the required one, that is the threshold, so those nerve impulses are not, okay, get transmitted at all. So if they transmit in a clear form. That is, they should have the required minimum strength. If the nerve impulse is not up to that particular mark, if it is, okay, not having the required strength so that it can be carried out, so that will be ignored. So this is how the nerve impulses get carried from one nerve to the other in the electrochemical form. Okay, and also you should remember that. So this is the reason we are not, okay, experiencing all the, okay, impulses, because when a nerve impulse generated, if it is, okay, below the required strength, it will not be experienced by us. So this principle is called as all or none. Okay, all or none principle. Either you experience completely or you don't experience at all. So this is about nerve cells. So our nerve system is made up of billions of neurons, and each particular neuron looks like this, and how this is, and how impulses are connected. Okay, then we will talk about the classification of nervous system. Okay, the basic nervous system of our human beings is divided into two parts. Okay, central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Okay, so as you can see in the diagram, the central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord. Okay, so if you not able to understand, then you should be able to know about our nerves. Okay, as we talked about nerve cell, should also be knowing the types of nerve cells. So when you talk about types of nerve cells, there can be three type of nerve cells. Okay, sensory, motor, and mixed nerve cells. So sensory nerve cells carry nerve impulses from the sense organs where a experience or a stimulus is received, and it will get carried to the central nervous system, that is brain. Repeat. Sensory nerves are the nerves which carry stimulus or the nerve impulses from the sensory organ which is getting affected. For example, if I pin here, so from here, sensory nerves will carry nerve impulses to the brain, that is central nervous system. Okay, as you know, so when there is a nerve impulse, when there is a stimulus, there would be a behavioral response. So that response is sent back from brain as a command through our motor nerves. Okay, motor nerves, so they again reflect or reach back the particular sensory organ where the, from where the information or the stimulus is sent. So those are motor nerves, and we have certain nerves which have both sensory and motor function. Okay, so as it says or clear that this sensory impulses will go to brain, and from brain we get the commands back to the affected area. So this is how our brain functions a very vital role, and it's called, or it is the central part. So that is the reason it is under central nervous system. Okay, central nervous system divided into brain and spinal cord. So spinal cord, as you know, it is a bunch or a bundle of axons of our nerve cells. Okay, as you know, or we talked about now, and its function is to conduct nerve impulses. So this is how it will carry nerve impulses from the sensory parts to the brain, and brain to the affected areas. So that is the role of spinal. So spinal cord is a bunch of axons, especially, okay, or in general terms, nerves or nerve cells, okay, which acts as a connecting cable between our brain, the central nervous system, and the affected or the other parts. Okay, so nervous system divided into central nervous system, mainly consisting of brain and spinal cord, and the other one is the peripheral nervous system. Okay, all the nerves other than from the region of brain and spinal cord will come under peripheral nervous system. Brains originating from brain and spinal cord, central nervous system, other than that region are called as peripheral nervous system. Okay, as you see, or you can observe the diagram. Again, the peripheral nervous system is again divided into autonomic nervous system and somatic nervous system. Okay, then you need to note that somatic nervous system, okay, consists of, plays a role in voluntary actions. Okay, voluntary actions of our, okay, other than the central nervous system. For example, our voluntary actions can be controlling of our, okay, hand movements, leg movements, okay, which are under our control. Somatic nervous system consists of, or speaks, or it deals with, okay, voluntary actions in general term. So the same complete opposite would be autonomic nervous system. So autonomic nervous system is completely talking about, okay, the actions which are not under our control. For example, the respiratory, okay, and the circulatory system, okay, which are not under our control. Okay, so this is a basic diagram. In the next diagram, I would like to, or I would show about what particular functions they perform. Okay, somatic voluntary actions. When you're talking about autonomic, so they are automatic or without, or they are not under our control. That is involuntary actions. Again, the autonomic nervous system is again divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic division. Okay, so when you're talking about sympathetic, okay, that particular division or mechanism acts like, or it prepares for fight or, okay, flight situations. In simple terms, emergency situations. So when there is a emergency arising in the body or as an organism is brought into an emergency situation, so this particular sympathetic nervous system or the sympathetic division will play a role where you can prepare ourselves. The body is automatically prepared without our, okay, consciousness, so that you face that particular situation. Okay, so that is about sympathetic. You can simply remember as shooter or troubleshooter. S stands for shooter. So when there is an emergency, okay, they call it as fight. Either you fight or fly away. So fight or flight, okay, going away. So that mechanism is taken care by sympathetic division. As we know, we cannot be in, okay, this particular condition, emergency condition, for a longer time. Okay, so once our mind gets signals that we are out of this particular danger, or this particular emergency situation has gone, then
Sir, please change
another
the picture. We
mechanism
can't
which is called as
understanding.
parasympathetic division will come into picture. So this will prepare body to get to normal. Okay, this will get to normal. Now you can see, so what are the main or the general functions of our nervous system. So I try to give
Yes.
a normal picture where we talked about the division or classification of our nervous system. So nervous system divided into two parts, okay, central and peripheral nervous system. So central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord. So other than brain and spinal cord, other nerves will come under peripheral nervous system. So peripheral nervous system again divided into somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. So somatic nervous system, as I said, they're talking about voluntary movements. Okay, where you receiving the signals or impulses and you trying to send them back for our voluntary actions. When we're talking about the involuntary actions, so that will be under autonomic nervous.
Hello? Are you there, sir? Sir?
Hello, sir. So we lost you, sir.
Sir, no voice from your side, sir. Sir, sir, it is not audible, sir.
Are you there, sir? We cannot hear you.
Excuse me, sir. Your screen is visible, sir, but your voice is not audible, sir.
Sir, you are in mute.
Sir, please unmute yourself, sir.
Sir, will you please unmute yourself, sir? Sir, unmute yourself, sir.
Sir, your voice is on mute, sir. Please unmute yourself.
All of you, please wait. It may be some poor connection to the sir.
Sir, unmute yourself.
Sir, please check your mic. Your mic is in unmute. Sir, please
Are
unmute
you
yourself.
are you there, sir? Are you there?
Sir is there only.
Sir, what you are saying, we are not listening that. Sir, unmute yourself.
Sir, unmute the. Sir, unmute. Sir, sir, please unmute. Please unmute yourself, sir.
It's connection problem, not charge problem.
Sir muted himself, not a connection problem.
Hmm.
We'll check Sir's mic.
Sir, unmute yourself, sir. We can't hear you, sir.
I think sir not able to listen our voice. That's why he's not unmuted. Is there anyone able to see sir screen?
Sir's screen is clear, but his voice is muted. He's not even checking his chat box or listening to our voices.
Sir is telling something, but he is not listening us.
He can't hear our voices. I think he's on his laptop, I think.
But he is able to see our charts now. He's not responding to the chat.
He's not checking, no.
Sir is actually not in the meeting if you check in the chat box.
I think if you all exit now, no, he can't see our screens, no, then he will recognize that he muted himself. If you all exit at once, and we can join in 2 minutes again.
I think he said mute.
Guys, we'll exit now and again we'll join by 10:40. I think he'll know till that time. Guys, please exit now and we'll join by 10:40 again. Till that time, he'll get to know that he muted himself.
Sir, please unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
Sir also can't hear your voice. Waste of speaking.
Maybe he's not using his earphones.
That's what I'm saying. If you exit now,
Hello,
no, we
sir.
can join by 10:40 again. Then he'll get to know that he muted himself. Then we can join
Sir?
again. We can listen.
At least the host has to guide them, no?
They'll just start the meeting and then record. That's it. They'll not sit near the device. Can't even listen in the YouTube also.
Excuse me, Dr. Kumar sir. Hello. Can you there? Are you there? Hello.
We should leave so that sir recognize us.
Shall we leave, sir? Hello.
He's not listening to us.
Why?
Guys, exit now and we'll join by 10:42. Guys, exit
Yeah,
now
we should
at
exit.
once. Exit now and join by 10:42 again.
Yes,
Okay.
leave.
At once.
Yes,
All at
Okay,
once we'll exit.
yeah, I'm doing it now.
Okay.
Yeah. Everyone do it.
I am also doing it now.
Sir, please unmute yourself, sir. We can't hear you. Sir,
Sir is not there.
he is there. He is talking, but he have not seen his mic.
He also not listening our words also.
Please unmute yourself, sir. Your voice is not audible.
Sir, unmute yourself.
Sir, unmute, sir. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Hello, friends. All of you raise your hands. Then, sir, will mute.
Yeah. So under Unit 6, we will be talking about nature versus
Sir, before we
nurture.
didn't hear
So it is
anything, so
talking
you have
about
muted yourself.
our hereditary mechanism. Okay, when you're talking about our hereditary mechanism, chromosomes are the functional units of our heredity. So chromosomes are in turn made up of genetic material called as genes, which is made up of DNA.
Hello?
DNA is
Excuse me, sir.
deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay, so DNA. So when you're talking about chromosomes, there are there are 36. There are 46 chromosomes. That is 23 pairs of chromosomes. Okay, so when you're talking about
Hello, sir. Excuse me, sir. We have lost about 25 minutes of class, sir.
when you're talking about chromosomes,
Hello, excuse me, sir.
I'm trying to share a slide.
Sir, we didn't hear your class for about half an hour, sir.
Sir, we didn't listen in your class for half an hour, sir.
So this is about chromosomes and the entire thing. Okay, so as it shows, we have 23 pairs, that is 46 chromosomes. Out of this, 44 or 22 pairs are common in both male and female. Okay, so these are called as autosomes. Okay, they remain common in both male and female. So when you're talking about this particular 23rd pair, it's called as sex chromosomes because they have a role to play in our sex
Excuse me,
identification,
sir.
either male or female. So now is it visible in the diagram that the 23rd pair, if it is X and X combination, it will lead to female. And if it is X and Y, it is a male or a male div. Okay? So at the time of this particular divisions, we talked about, or you know about how the cell divide. So you acquired a 23 from 23 from mother and 23 from females. This mother and father. So all of them they contribute, and this is how it will total makeup of 46. So the last pair, for example, if you are acquiring X chromosome from X from father, at the time of conception, the child will be a girl child, and at the time of conception, if it's from a mother, and if it is fighting with a Y chromosome from the father, it will lead to or the zygote, which they call it as zygote. So that would be a male child. So XX female. When you're talking about XY combination, it is male. So this is how you acquire 50% that is offered from the mother and off from the father, that is 50% of acquired. Okay, then at the time of conception, and this is how you acquire 50-50, but you either try to, yeah, don't write on the slide. Yeah, so when you're acquiring 50-50 from both the parents, but still you don't resemble to be, okay, you don't resemble 50-50, but you try to look like one because there are dominating and recessive genes they call. So when there is a domination, okay, so that particular dominating genes will express. So either you look like a male or a, okay, particular male characteristics of any one ancestor or relative, or the female characteristics if we're talking about females, so from their parents or relatives. So the dominating or the expressive genes will be there and the recessive. So this is the reason you don't look off of, but you try to dominate either mother or father or one particular relative, close relatives, their characteristics. Okay, then don't screen share, don't screen share. Yeah, don't write, don't write, don't write. I am helpless because they have they have muted you all. Yeah, so it's only one-sided. They have muted. Don't worry. Okay, so 50-50 you acquired, but there is a debate which talks about either heredity is playing a major role or is it about the environment. So there are research studies which have been done and which suggest both. Some research studies they suggest hereditary characteristics and some suggest about the environment where you have raised. So nature talks about the inherited characteristics. As you talked, 50-50 generally you acquire from the parents, but the expression
Sir,
would be
we have
dominant.
missed your
So
class
you
from
look like or
10:25
you
to 10:50,
express
sir.
certain characteristics. Okay, so when we're talking about the, okay, nurture is nothing but the environment where you have raised. Okay, so there are research studies says that if a person is intelligent by nature, that is if he acquired intelligence, and if that intelligence is not, okay, supported with proper environment, okay, infrastructure and all that, maybe the person will not be as successful as a person who is having all the infrastructure. Okay, and also the other view says that though if you are into a well, okay, enriching environment, for example nice school or teaching learning materials, you are exposed for a nice, okay, infrastructure or a international schools and all that, but still but still if there is no inherited intelligence, though you provide environment or enrich, enriching climate or all infrastructure, school and all that, but if basically the person have inherited low intelligence, so maybe the person will not be as successful as the, okay, the person who is intelligent by nature. So this is how there are views which support both. One says the person should be intelligent by nature, that is inherited, so that if you provide them good school and all that, you will become very successful. The other view says that though he is intelligent, but don't if you don't provide them the required environment, that is school, okay, the infrastructure and all that, so he will not be successful else. So this is the reason. So there is no conclusion to say that only hereditary is important or the environment. To be a very okay successful in terms of like what abilities you have, and if you are reaching the full potential and growing as a full whole person, both the acquired characteristics like intelligence and your abilities are required, as well as the encouraging environment is also required. So if you are intelligent and then if you're not provided with a good environment, that can also have effect on your behavior. So at the end, they have come to a conclusion saying that it is not the inherited characteristics or the environment alone have effect, but it is the combination of both. They have good intelligence, like for example, if you acquired intelligence, and also if the environment is very encouraging, you reach the full potential. Okay, so they have conducted studies on okay, identical twins and also non-identical twins. So when they talked about identical twins, so the identical twins shared okay most similarities. When you're talking about non-identical, they differed in their abilities. So this says that hereditary or the abilities are carried or equal and inherited at the time of birth. But when they were raised in different climates, they were not very successful or same, because though they have intelligence, equal intelligence acquired at the time of birth, but the climate or the place where they were raised were different. So when the place or the environment, if it was good, it was very successful. Same intelligence, when the environment was not good, he could not be as successful as the other one. So this says that acquiring intelligence at the time of birth is also important, as well as the place where you are raised is also important. So this is the conclusion. So if you have to debate on whether nature, that is acquired, inherited, our abilities are more when compared to the environment where you have rise, both have equal importance. So this was proved by research okay, on twins and non-identical twins. So identical twins are the one which are more similar because they are formed from single egg cell. When you're talking about non-identical, they have okay taken birth from different egg and different sperm cells. So these are the conclusions. Okay, see you all in the next class. Okay, as you said, they especially
Sir, we have missed
my
your
mic
class
got
from
muted.
10:25 to 10:50, sir.
Okay, as
Last
I
10
was
minutes
sharing the screen, I could
we
not
are
notice
listening in
that.
your class. When you start telling chromosomes,
Yeah,
then your
yeah.
mic was
People
unmuted,
have
sir.
joined today only. They are saying anything, whichever coming to their mind. Okay, they need to mind okay, what they are talking, because this is an unexpected online class. Okay, and this is also a third class. Okay, so keep that in your mind and don't comment. If you have anything to tell, okay, you need to use proper language. You make sure that you use proper language. Okay, see you all in the next class.